Beautiful. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Jody Giannakopoulos. I'm an Adult Services Associate at Addison Public Library. And I was so fortunate to find Chef Roberto Pérez online one day while I was researching for Latin cuisine, and I found the right person right away. So I am so pleased. Check out the new program guide. It's come out just this week. We'll have more cooking programs, and for now, they're going to be on Zoom. I do like to stream things, and you can return to the recordings to reference the information at a later date as well. So check out Addison Library, Addison Public Library on YouTube and on Facebook when you get a chance. So anyways, without further ado, I am going to mute myself. I ask that everybody else do the same, but feel free to unmute and ask questions because we're just going to hang out and enjoy this really terrific offering. Ask questions in chat if you're not comfortable with it. I am here for you. We will do more Q&A afterward if we like, and we can just take our time here tonight. So enjoy it, everybody. Chef Roberto.
All right. Thank you, Jody. I'm really grateful for the Addison Public Library and the fact that they invited me. And look at this, we have just so many people here, and I feel like more people are starting to come on. Today we're going to make actually a salad that I really enjoy. It's nice and spicy, and it's something that I actually came across when I was at the beach in Trinidad. Trinidad is in the south of the Caribbean, right next to Venezuela. Carla, was that you, Carla, that started shouting out? So that was you. All right. Carla's from Trinidad, so she knows. In about it was 2013, and actually I was searching out, I play music, and I was searching out something called stick fighting martial arts from the Caribbean that they call Calinda. Now in Puerto Rico, you may not know, but you may know also, but there was a martial arts that kind of faded out historically in Puerto Rico, and it's called Coco Ballet. Now it was drumming, and I'm part of the bomba culture, which is heavily in percussion. And so I went to Trinidad. I was really seeking out these traditions of stick fighting and drumming and the chanting. And I came across just such beautiful, beautiful culinary arts of Trinidad. And so one of the things that I came across when I was there was chow. And that was about 2013. I feel like I've made so many great friends from Trinidad. And so today we're just going to make that. Also, honestly, if I ever go back to Puerto Rico, I would probably do the same thing, and I would spell it chow, kind of like in Spanish, like chow. And then I swear I would create a business using it, just because, and using native fruits. And I think that that's something that I would do, because a lot of the ingredients that we use here also are ingredients that also are found throughout the Caribbean, like Puerto Rico. Okay, so we're gonna start first with our chow. But also, if you have a sous chef at home, what you can do is you can do something with your plantain, right? What we're gonna do is we could, and I'll show you right before we start moving on to our chow, is we'll cut the ends. We'll watch our fingers, right? We'll cut the ends, and then we're gonna score our plantain like this. And then we could put it in the sink under hot water, under hot running water. And then what this is going to do is it's actually going to kind of open up the peel a little bit, and then later we can peel it a lot easier. So that's because this is so starchy. This can be a problem for us, you know. So if you don't do that, if you don't run it under hot water, then it'll get in your fingernails, and it's kind of painful, to be honest with you. Some of you guys maybe have experienced that. And so I'm just trying to look out for you guys, okay? Now, I do want to repeat something that Jody repeated. If you guys have any questions, don't be shy. Don't be shy about using the chat also. please. Just let me know. So I'm just scoring it. Now I scored it only through the peel. I didn't go all the way in. And then we're gonna run this under hot water, okay? All right, everybody, I'll be right back, but now's the perfect time where you can ask questions.
Or grab a cocktail, right?
I also want to mention, everybody, if you are having trouble seeing, be sure you're in speaker view because you're going to get a nice big screen with Chef right there in front of you. In addition, let's see what else. Yep, feel free to ask me questions in the chat. And oh, would you guys do me a favor? If there's more than one person watching, will you let me know how many people are watching so we get a total count of the audience? I appreciate that.
All right. So now that we've done this, we're going to start with our chow, okay? So first things first is that chow is made with a lot of different fruits, okay? You can use mango, you could use pineapple, you can get really creative, you can use cucumber, you could use carambola or star fruit. You can really get really creative. You could use apple, you could use whatever fruit you like or whatever is in season. Today, we're going to use pineapple. So how do you pick a pineapple? Usually, if you're able to like lift it up and the crown, some of the crown comes off, then you know that it's ready, okay? Another way is you can smell it, and if it smells sweet, then you know it's ready. Another thing that you can do is you could squeeze it, and if it has a little bit of give, then you know it's ready. So in this case, we know that this pineapple is ready, okay? So the first thing we want to do whenever we're working with pineapples or any fruit or your mango is you want to create kind of a base so that it's not rolling all over the place. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to cut it. Just cut the end. You're just going to cut the end, and then that way it's not moving all over the place. So we're going to cut the bottom, and then we're going to cut the crown off of the top. Okay? So you can keep this if you want to like do really nice decorations on your plate or something like that, you can use it. Okay, so now that we have this stabilized, now we can use our knife and kind of curve around that skin. Also, this skin, if you clean it up really nice, you could actually make a really nice juice. You could probably boil it and put some ginger in there and some cinnamon, and you could make a really nice juice just by using this. Or you could even put this like in hot sauce. You can do really a lot of really creative things with it. Just thinking about, you know, not creating food waste. Any questions? So I usually take the core out, but you don't have to. You know, I usually do. It makes it just a little bit easier. And don't be shy to use the chat also, please. All right. So now that we've taken off all of that skin, you know, you could also take out, I'm just taking off all the green. And now that I feel good about that, then I'm gonna cut it in half. Right, and then I usually do take out this core right here. So then what you can do is you can cut it, and now you could take this core off. So just like this. So now the core has been removed. Again, you could make this with strawberries. You could make it with mango, cucumber. Carlo, is there anything else that you can use in your chow? Anything else that you remember?
Nah, that sounds good. I mean, we don't put no basil, but yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
ingredients were
right.
good.
That's right. So usually this is always used. You always use recao. So recao would be culantro, or also in Trinidad you'd call it shadow benny. Is that true,
Shadow
Carla?
Benny, yes, yes.
Right. So recao would be one of the star herbs in this dish. Now, because some folks can't get it, we use basil.
Yeah,
So
basil tastes good too.
I like basil. I like basil.
I'm getting myself together so I can get my video on. So I'm gonna see y'all soon.
Okay. So you could get your bowl out, and now that the core has been cut off, then we're just gonna create our chunks, our bite-sized chunks, and we can start just creating our salad. All right, let me make sure that my sink doesn't overflow. So just bite-sized pieces, right? Jody, are there any questions in the chat?
No, we're just chilling. We're good.
Oh, you're just chilling? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about eating pineapple now.
Yeah, I know.
I used to be afraid of it, and now I'm like, no, don't be afraid of it. You just cut it up and it's ready to go.
Yeah, you could freeze it, All
But
right, so
fresh
we
is
have our-
delicious.
I love it. Yeah. So, all right, our pineapple is cut up. Now we have our limes also.
Chef, I do have a question.
All right.
Should you submerge the plantain?
Or
just-
yes.
okay.
Oh, you could. Yeah, it can be either or. Either or will work as long as there's running water. Then it'll work.
Okay, that does the trick too. Okay.
That'll also do the trick. So okay, so we're gonna then squeeze our limes. And then while this is kind of marinating and coming together, we can then start on our shrimp, right? And on our tostones rellenos de camarones. So what we'll be creating is kind of like a cup using the tostones, using the plantain, and we're gonna use a vessel like this lemon squeezer. And that's actually what we're gonna use to form our tostones. Hopefully you guys have one of these. All right. So this is where we're gonna use some of this, what we'd call some Caribbean sunshine, right? So you guys, we have some of these big peppers, these habaneros, or sometimes if they're from the Caribbean, also they would be called probably a Scotch bonnet pepper. Sometimes they're in red, orange, yellow, green. You could use any type of pepper that you like, but traditionally, usually it is a Scotch bonnet pepper. So we know that inside of our peppers, that seed and those membranes and that white ribbing that's there, that's actually where all of the heat is. So just be careful when you're doing this. You can use gloves if you have gloves in the house. You could use your winter mittens, whatever you have to protect yourself. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to this, and then I'm going to hold on to the stem, And then I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna just try not to get exposed too much to the insides of this, because again, that's where the pain is. That's where the pain is, especially if you're gonna rub your eyes, especially if you're going to, yeah, just anything, touch your face, use the bathroom, be careful, all that. All right, so I have, because I love spice, I put 2 peppers in here. Another thing that you can do is add a little bit of garlic. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic. I'm gonna use maybe about, I say 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm gonna mix that in there. Have a little pilón here, a little mortar and pestle. And then we're gonna mix that up. And so because it's got the lime, then it's really gonna bring everything together. So far, what do we have? We have the pineapple. Again, you could use mango or cucumber or whatever fruit that you like, carambola or star fruit.
So a question is, how much heat does remain if you don't use the seeds and ribs?
So it won't be as spicy. That, I think it's almost double the spice if you keep the seeds in. Yeah, it'll be spicy, but it won't hurt. I mean, it really depends also on your tolerance. And some peppers are just angrier than others.
That's what the produce guy said, and I agree. A jalapeno, one will be sweet like a green pepper, and the next one will be like, to the moon.
Yeah. Sometimes what I've noticed in mine, I have a little garden here, is when it's really hot, that really turns up the heat also on the peppers as far as how spicy it is. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, they
So
like
far,
the sun.
yes. So the sun, and then you could make them even spicier by not watering them so much. You could just let them just be out there in the heat and really stress them out, and they'll get even spicier. Yep. So far we have the pineapple, we have our spice, we have also the garlic, and we have the lime. Okay. Now this is the time where you would use your culantro or your recao or your basil if you have. So I've already cleaned this, and I'm gonna kind of create what they call kind of like a chiffonade, right? Where it's almost like rolling up using the big leaves, putting those on the bottom, and kind of rolling it like a cigar, right? We're then going to continue to protect our fingers. Down to the stem. I'll cut it then across again, and then this is all going in. So if you have recao, that's great. If you have culantro, wonderful. So okay, mix. Also, make sure you add a little bit of salt. I feel like this flavor profile is very similar to in what you would find maybe with the fruit cocktails in the Mexican culture and the street vendors. It's similar, except it doesn't have the herbs, it doesn't have the recao, but it is usually sweet and spicy and salty, and that's kind of like the profile that you're trying to get. Something that really is it's kind of complex on your tongue, you know?
Yeah, the big surprise for me was to put garlic, and it sounds like at first you think, what? And then you're like, wait a minute, that might be amazing.
Garlic on everything, right?
Right. And do you put the garlic in a pilón and smash it up? You don't
Yeah, I
mince it?
minced it up really small. It's minced up really in small pieces.
Yeah.
How much garlic was that?
That was about 3 or 4. So right, some pineapples are really big too. I ended up getting a smaller one. And so is that Maria?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It's just me, so
It's just you today? You don't have a sous chef today?
I don't have my sous chef.
Oh man, okay.
He's
So
out of
now-
town, so slow down for me, please.
Okay.
Thank
For
you.
sure. So now I added some salt. And again, and then as this sits, it'll just get better. Carla, were you able to find any recao? Any shadow benny?
Sorry, it took me a while to unmute.
That's okay. Were you able to find
Yeah,
anything?
I did. And I want to show you, I found some at the grocery store. And I wanted to show you all that this year for the first time.
Show us. Did you just freeze? You were gonna show us and then you froze.
We'll get her back.
All right.
Yeah, some people are asking, like, where should they go for the ingredient, like a shadow benny? Like,
The recao or the culantro, you
Yes,
can get
I
it at any
did.
store. Okay.
I got them from seed to finally grow this year. Very
Oh,
excited.
wow. That's amazing. Now, where did you get the seed, if you don't mind me asking?
I should not say on camera where I got the
Oh,
seed from.
okay. No problem.
But-
Okay.
But I did get them. Let me see if I can turn my camera back
I
around.
see.
Right.
Okay.
So I did get them.
Maybe you
I'm
got them
very
from
excited,
home.
but I also have lots of seeds. So if anybody is on the south side and wants to come get some.
That is really amazing because the seeds, my experience with growing them has not been that easy.
Right. I've been trying for like 3 years. So I still have all these seeds and I had almost like 90% germination rate. So
Wow. Okay. Lovely. So I tasted my salad. It's nice and spicy. So, oh, and I did also, just to kind of give some variation in color, just because I love like making my food pop, I also cut up some strawberries. Although when I was in Trinidad, I'd never see anything like this, strawberries, but I know that strawberries go good with pineapple.
yeah, I'm gonna do mango and pineapple for mine.
Okay.
So mine, I have a lot of juice sitting at the bottom of mine.
Okay.
Do I need to strain it or just leave
Nah,
it there?
just leave it. Just leave it.
All right.
So, okay, now, so this is kind of what mine looks like now. I feel like it pops a lot better.
it looks amazing. The strawberries, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it made it pop really nice.
So again, let's say, what kind of store should people look at? Like a specialty grocery store? Maybe ask the
Oh.
produce manager, a place like Caputo's or Whole Foods.
That's a great question. Like I've seen it at Pete's maybe a few times where they have it in containers like this.
Oh,
You know,
Brenda
they
has
have
a
it-
good one too, is Tony's. Tony's is a good one.
Tony's
Okay,
is
and look at the, okay, like the packaged herb.
so yeah, so Tony's is good. If you go to the north side in the Humboldt Park area, you'll definitely find it because it's part of like the base of Puerto Rican cooking. So anywhere like Armitage Produce,
That's exactly
Rico,
what someone just said.
Rico Fresh, the Cermax, some of the Tonys, you could find it.
Yeah, it's not easy to get at all the grocery stores, but today I found it like this at local market on the south side. And if you go
Okay.
to like an African or Caribbean grocery store, they'll sell it like in a bag like this. I freeze mine just and use it in soups if I
Yeah.
have any left over.
Yes, you could freeze it. And another thing is that also in Vietnamese cooking, in the pho, it's often used. So you'll find it often at a Vietnamese, or actually at an Asian market. All right, so my chow is done. I'm just going to let it marinate a little bit. And it's good. So chow is good. I'll cover it and then we could start on our shrimp.
Chef, I
and
have a
tostones.
question.
Absolutely.
My husband does a lot of salmon, and he
Yes.
uses mango salsa. Can this chow also be used along with salmon or other fish? No.
Alongside?
Yeah.
Yeah, alongside. I
as a
don't see why
side.
not. Yeah, why not? Mango and salmon go really well together. All right, so we are soon going to, so I'm just covering it up. And now we can move on to the other things. The next thing that I am going to do now that we have our plantain soaked is I'm going to create a very quick broth, and I'm using the shrimp shell. I'm going to add a cup of water because we're not going to use that much. I'm going to put a bay leaf and some peppercorns in there. So I'll show you all the ingredients that I'm putting in there. It's a bay leaf, a dry bay leaf. We have the peppercorns there, maybe about 5 to 10. We have the shrimp, and then we have a cup of water. So now's a good time to ask questions. We're gonna start moving around a little bit. Now that our chow is done, covered up, we're good. So I'll show you what this pot looks like also. It's just the water, 1 cup of water, because that's all we're gonna use, really not, and we're gonna strain this. All we're doing is creating flavors. We're adding some bay leaves and peppercorn, and then I'm just going to boil this, and once it gets to a boil, your house is gonna start smelling like shrimp, and then you can turn it off and just kind of let it seep there. Also, if you notice, I'm looking at my plantain and it's starting to, you see it's really opening up a lot more since I put it in the hot water.
That answers the question. Somebody asked, how do you know when it's ready to be peeled?
Yeah. And then also when you're peeling it, what I would do is continue to run it under the hot water. And just like potatoes, it will oxidize. So you want to keep it in the water.
Chef,
Absolutely, yes.
can you repeat the part with the shrimp?
Yeah, so I
Thank
used
you.
absolutely. So I used the shell and I took it off. And I took it off of the shrimp, and then what I did was I added about 5 to 10 peppercorns, and then I also added 2 bay leaves and about a cup and a half of water, and then I'm gonna bring that to a boil. So now as you can see, also when you're peeling this, use the side of your finger and not your fingernail, because your fingernail that's really gonna hurt if you use your fingernail. So use the side of your finger, and okay. And as you can see, it's peeling off really nice. So it's already starting to smell in here like shrimp. So, okay, this is my second. And so if you notice, when I did cut it, I cut it along the ridge, you see? So that way it's a little bit easier for me to peel. Hope that makes sense for everybody. This won't cause you so much pain. You see, it came off really easy. So in one pot, what I have here is I have oil, and this is where I am going to actually fry these plantains. We are going to double fry them. That means like a toston or like a fried plantain, what we're going to do is we're going to fry it, we're going to form it, and then we're going to fry it again. Okay, so we should probably turn this up. And get this going. Also, another thing that I would say is just be patient with it, because we're not putting only slices in there. We're going to put big chunks of plantain in here. So and also another thing, listen to this little tip. Don't put it too high. Put it at medium, because what you want to make sure is that it cooks not only on the outside, but on the inside it also cooks, so that it cooks thoroughly. Okay. And I'll show you how I'm going to cut it so that you guys see. But the first things first is we're trying to get this nice and hot. Now, while that's going on, we could start working on our shrimp. Okay. So I have my shrimp here. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna drain it, and I'm gonna try to dry it. I'm also going to squeeze a lemon in there. Now, in a lot of fish recipes, even chicken recipes, you'll notice that there's always some vinegar, some acid used to kind of freshen up. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna squeeze a lime in here in this water. I'm gonna rinse it out, and then I'm gonna dry it as good as I can, okay?
Chef, have you ever tried baking the ingredient or the shrimp? Have you done that, or just frying?
Bake. Yeah, I baked the shrimp, and now this is not a necessary. Are we talking about the plantain or the shrimp?
That's a good question. Let's see. Are we talking about, I think we're talking about the shrimp, but I'm not totally sure. No, it's actually for the plantain.
Ah, so the plantain, the only one that I will bake would be a sweet plantain. So, but in an air fryer, if you want a healthier option, you can coat it with some spray, coat it with some oil, and then you could put it in the air fryer, and that's definitely a healthier choice. Um, but you have to practice at that one because sometimes they're just a little too dry in the air dryer. I'm sure somebody has experience here with air fryers, right? Anybody here have experience with air fryers?
Let's see. That was definitely part of the question, was to bake it or air fry it.
Ah, okay.
We're actually going to have an air fryer program because I want to learn how to use mine.
I'll be there, Jody. In Puerto Rico, I swear, it feels like everyone in my family has an air fryer.
About how much oil did you put in the pan?
So in that pan, there's probably about 2 inches. We want it because what we're gonna do is we're gonna form a cup. So we need it high enough so that it fries. So if you have a very wide pan, then you're gonna need a lot more. So I got one kind of like medium size so that it goes up a little higher.
And then you kind of do them in batches.
Yeah, I won't try to overcrowd it, but we'll do like 3 at a time. So okay, some of you guys may have gotten some of the seasonings from the Addison library, and that seasoning is actually, now's the time where you could add that seasoning. So I'm drying off my shrimp a little bit. And now's a good time where you could add that seasoning. That seasoning is actually my seasoning, which is the Urban Pilón seasoning. And you could use that. You could also just add basic salt and pepper. So I like to be generous with my seasoning. This is, Caribbean cooking. So, yeah.
Tell us, please, Chef, would you tell us what goes into the spice mix?
So it's salt, it's pepper. It is also oregano. It's also garlic. It's also turmeric, a little bit of cumin, and a little bit of achote or naro seed to give a little bit of color. So it's also something that I feel that it's really complete. So you really don't need any to mess around with any artificial colorings or anything like that, because it already, as you can see, it already has a good color on it. Right, Margarita?
Yes, I love it. I still make mine. I still have my little bottle that I could put it in, my little jar that says.
Oh, I love that. So see, before it actually came to the market, I was teaching it to all of my classes because I really felt like we should definitely cook more natural. And it's a very big part of the work that I do. So if ever anybody really wants to know, they could ask me, and of course I will share with them the recipe, just because it's not simply just about profits or making money. It's also about community and making sure that the community is well taken care of. All right, so I've seasoned my shrimp.
Chef,
Absolutely, yes.
so can you repeat after I use the amazing urban pilon seasoning, what else goes in the shrimp?
You can, you know, if you didn't have that, you could just add salt and pepper. But
No,
the
I have
adobo
it.
already has the salt and pepper, so it's not necessary. You're good with just that.
No, I have it. Is there anything else that goes into the shrimp?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have this pan. As you can see, I'm just coating the bottom, and I'm gonna get this nice and hot. And what I want to do is I want to get a little plate, because what I'm going to do is it's going to be almost like a flash fry. So it's going to be really fast. It's going to be like 1 minute on each side. And then I'm going to take it out. So get a plate out where you can actually put your shrimp. And then we'll create the sauce, and then we will reintroduce the shrimp to the sauce. So one of the things we often do when we cook shrimp, right, is that we overcook it, right? And then it gets real small and stiff. And then you bought like these really beautiful jumbo shrimps, and then they're really small, like little salad shrimps. And then, you know, you spend $13.99 a pound on salad shrimp.
And they get gummy too if you overcook them.
Thank you. That is right. Absolutely. All right. So
Just
I'm
so
getting
you
that.
know, oh,
Mhm.
sorry. I just threw up the address for Urban Pilon for Roberto's link or his website, where you can get more information about who he is and
Yeah.
what he does.
Thank you, Jody. And you can also order on there in case you can't, if you're from out of state and you can't make it to the city, then you can also just order it online, and I'll ship it to your house.
I'm gonna get a t-shirt.
Yes. Okay, so I have my plate where my shrimp is going. And I feel like it's nice and hot now. So what I'll do is I'll put, instead of mounting the shrimp on top of one another, we're just gonna go slowly, one at a time. And I think I want that hotter because I wanted some sizzle when I put it on there. I'm kind of a little disappointed. All right, that's better. Okay. So we don't want to overcrowd our pan where you're mounting the shrimp one on top of the other. What we're trying to do is get a nice color, a nice browning on your shrimp. It's going to be just simply 1 minute on each side. Now we've seasoned it real humbly, real simple. Maria, am I still going too fast?
You're good, thank you.
I'm good. Okay.
I'll just ask. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, definitely ask if you know, I was telling Jody I'll be here until you guys are all finished. Okay. It smells nice. So right when we get our shrimp and it's uncooked, it's usually this grayish blue. What we want our shrimp to be is nice and pink. And when it's pink, we know it's done. And so in this same pan with all of this flavor, this is where we're going to create our sauce.
Chef, can you repeat what seasoning that you put in the shrimp?
Absolutely. So it's just a real simple. If you have the urban pilon adobo, you could use that. If not, you can also just use salt and pepper. But in my recipe, it would be salt, pepper, garlic, oregano, um, turmeric, cumin, and a little bit of achote. And that's basically it.
Thank you, Chef.
For sure, for sure. You got it. So, okay, I want to brown it, and then I'm taking it out. So instead of like cooking it thoroughly, then putting the sauce on there, because then the shrimp is really going to be overcooked. So that's why we're doing 1 minute on each side. We're taking it off. We'll create our sauce in here, and then we'll bring it back and we'll turn it off pretty soon after that. Now I have turned the little caldo, the little stock that I've created with the shrimp. I've already taken it off. I've taken it off of the heat just because I do not want it to reduce, right? I don't want it to reduce so much. So it'll reduce because the liquid, it keeps cooking and then all the liquid will be gone. And what we need is that liquid. So, okay. So it's been a minute. And we're taking this sauce. I have more shrimp, so I'm just gonna add that. But it'll be fast because it'll only be 1 minute on each side.
Chef, do you use a thermometer to know the oil temperature, or how do you know when your oil's hot? Does it start moving around a little, shimmering?
You would want it. Yeah, what they'll say is it gets a little bit nervous. You definitely don't want it smoking, and you want the heat about medium. And so you want it about 350. That's what you usually want. When you really start to take cooking serious, then you really want to get a kitchen thermometer, and then you could set. I like to fry things about 350, 375. I don't know who asked that, but you have prompted me to use my kitchen thermometer. But again, remember, you don't want it too hot. You don't want it too hot, and my oil is not ready yet. But you don't want it too hot because if it's too hot, it'll cook on the outside and it'll be raw on the inside, and that's not what you want. All right, so mine still needs a little bit of time. 1 minute on each side. And now you can ask your sous chef, hey, sous chef, cut me up some onions, please, because I'm gonna use them. Mince me up some garlic. Cut me up, dice me up some bell peppers. Open up your can of salsa de tomate or your tomato sauce. What my grandmother used to do, and one of the things I talk about in my class, what my great grandmother used to do was in her boils, she would put tomato and garlic. She would then take it out, put it in a mortar and pestle in the pilón, and that was her salsa de tomate. That was her, how she would make her tomato sauce in a much more natural way. Maybe add a little bit of salt and some oregano when you're there. Maybe some paprika to give some color. Some achote too.
What kind of salt do you like to use?
Oh, that's a great question. I like kosher salt. I like big grain salt. I have sea salt here. And yeah, I like the big grain stuff because you can see it, because it doesn't pour so easily. You know, you kind of use your hand, and you kind of control the pores a lot easier. So great question. Now the Himalayan salt is something that's really popular right now. I've seen gray salt, I've seen pink salt and purple salt. I believe it's from the mines, depending on the mines. I had this friend who she was dating somebody in St. Thomas, and they would go in the bay and they would get salt from the bay. And she would, knock down coconuts and make coconut cream and all this stuff. And I was like, man, I want to go there. And I did. I went there. St. Thomas, really beautiful place.
Roberto, how about Himalayan salt? Is that any good?
Yeah, I like Himalayan salt. Mm-hmm.
Really?
The pink salt. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's pink.
What do you think of it?
No la he usado. I have not used it, but I wanted.
Yeah, it's what's popular right now.
Right now, yes, it seems a lot of recipes seems to call for it, and we just use the kosher salt.
I like kosher salt too. So now in this same pan, I'm not going to wipe it down or anything like that. I'm going to add an onion. This is about a half an onion in that same pan. Getting all of those flavors.
And you got the temperature up high still?
I lowered it. Great question. I sure did. I lowered it because pretty soon the garlic's gonna go in, and the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to burn my garlic. But the next thing that's gonna go in is my diced peppers. So this is almost like a deconstructed sofrito, somewhat, you could say. If you have maybe some shadow benny or some culantro, you could add that in there. So now is also the time where you want to really awaken some of these dry ingredients. So if you have dry ingredients that you like if you want to add a little bit some adobo, a lot of these ingredients are dormant, right? So they've been in these jars. Who knows how long they've been in the jars, right? So what we're trying to do is we're just going to waken those up, kind of toast them. Almost like the same style as if you did a curry. You'd kind of just really bring out those flavors at the beginning. So now we'll use the dry ingredients in the beginning, and you will use the fresh towards the end. So I also have, I like a little bit of reddening. So in cooking, you'll see reddening. And the ingredients here is paprika and some achote. And so that's what I meant about reddening. That's a natural reddening. And smoked paprika, I think, is especially if you're ever cooking for somebody that does vegan. I think smoked paprika, yeah, that's a game changer right there. Anything smoked really, really elevates flavors. So far, I have the onions, the bell peppers, and I did lower the heat. I added my dry ingredients, so I added some salt, some pepper, a little bit of adobo. You could add some paprika, smoked paprika is nice. Now I'm going to add my garlic. Garlic and this goes really well. Garlic and shrimp, yeah, that's a winner right there. I'll take, it's about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic that I've minced up really nice. And we're gonna put that in there. So it's looking kind of dry, right? But we're really, now the onions are starting to turn translucent. And so we have here about 4 ounces of the salsa de tomate, or the tomato sauce. And so it's kind of this light red, and what you'll notice is that as it cooks, it darkens up and gets like this brick red. And you'll notice that when it starts cooking.
Roberto, what was the red ingredients that you put there besides
So
the
I
onions?
did put some paprika.
No, pero
The red one is probably the red bell pepper.
oh, bell pepper. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Yeah. So it's kind of chunky, right? It looks kind of dry. So we're gonna cook down some of that salsa de tomate, and then soon we're going to add our stock. It's only gonna be about a half a cup, three quarters of a cup of the stock of that shrimp that we boiled. So here we go. That's gonna just cook down. And while that's cooking and reducing, we can now start on our plantain. I am feeling like my oil, I'm pretty sure my oil is ready. Okay. So this is nice, and this is going to get darker as it cooks. And when it comes to a boil, maybe we could also taste it and make sure that, you know, it's at a level that we like. And if we need a little bit more salt, we could adjust it before we put our shrimp in there. But our shrimp is not in the pan anymore. We have taken it out so that we could then reintroduce it, you know? All right, so this is the plantain. And the plantain, I want to make sure that it's dry, first of all, before I put it in the oil. But I am going to cut mine in 3. Now, remember, this is what's going to make the cups that we're going to form. So when we put this in oil, we want it nice and dry, because if it's wet, it's gonna really gonna pop, and we don't want that to pop. So remember, not too hot. You don't want it smoking. A way that you can also reduce the heat in oil is you could add a little bit more oil, and that'll help reduce it. That'll help bring down the temperature a little bit. So I've done 3, but I think I have space for a little bit more.
And you're taking them out of the water right now.
Yeah, and I'm drying them up as well as I can, just because I don't want this popping. So, okay, we are done with our stock. You could ask your sous chef to clean that up, clean up the mess, do some of those dishes. And we have this cooking. This will reduce a little bit, but we want some of this sauce. It'll continue to go. And in a little while, we're going to add some of that. We're gonna reintroduce that shrimp. So far, what we have going is we have the plantain going. It's frying, and this is our sauce for our shrimp. We've already cooked our shrimp, 1 minute on each side. We put it aside, and then we're going to bring it back. Now, be really patient with your plantain. Don't rush the process. It'll get nice and khaki, but you want it to cook on the inside. Those are pretty big pieces, so you want to make sure that it cooks on the inside too. So it's gonna be probably about 12 minutes. That seem like a long time?
Now, Chef, you say you're going to fry them twice.
Yeah, I'm gonna fry
So,
twice.
Is it the kind of thing where if you were going to make this for your guests, can you do the first fry and then leave them set?
That is a great question, Jody. So what happens is that you want to use them while you want to form them when they're hot. So I would say that if you're going to fry it, then you would then create the molding or flatten them, and then you could maybe freeze them and use them later. But once they come out of this hot oil, you have to kind of form them, or else they'll dry up. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. That's I think yeah. And yeah, and people do that all the time. They may make tostones, they'll fry it, flatten it, and then they'll put them in the freezer, just gently, you know. Anybody here do that?
No, we use them right away.
Right away. I mean, for real,
Yeah.
like me, tostones
Yeah.
don't last very long in my house.
Yeah,
either.
nope.
You're right.
Nope. No, you don't put that stuff away. You eat them.
Correct.
That's
Chef,
a Puerto Rican crime.
Puerto Rican crime. What's going on?
Chef, did you cut the plátanos in any specific way, or did you put them whole?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna take it out. So this is how they look. I don't know. I'm hoping
Okay.
you can see.
Yes,
So
thank you,
cut
Chef.
them. Yeah, for sure. So I cut it in 3, like 1
3?
plantain. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. But I'm being patient with it. I'm not rushing it. I gotta make sure that it's cooked thoroughly, because actually what we're going to do is we're gonna put it in here, and we're going to smash it, create a cup, and then we put it back in the fryer. so that it doesn't get stuck here, I'm gonna take a little bit of oil and just make sure that it does. I just don't want it to get stuck, so that's what I'll do. How's everybody doing? Everybody all caught up? Any questions? You guys are good?
What do you suggest as an alternate if you don't have the
Plantain?
juicer? Yeah.
In case you don't have plantain?
No, guys, I don't have the juicer. Just
this squeezer thing?
Yeah.
You can use 2
And I have
cups.
this, but it has holes in it.
You can use 2 cups of the same, as long as they don't have handles, and I'll show you what I
I need
mean.
a squeezer.
So what you can do, you see these 2 cups here? So what I can do is I'll oil this one up. I'll put the plantain in there and I'll gently squeeze it and then just try to pry it out the best that I can and then put it to fry. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So just as long as it doesn't have a handle, I think it'll work.
So while we're cooking away, Chef, why don't you tell us a little bit about what other projects you have going on or things that you do? You're a fascinating person.
Thank you so much. So I do have the band, which is Booyah, which is really focused on Afro Puerto Rican music. I felt like when we started this and we started doing bomba back in the day, there was really not many people that were doing this type of music. It was really a stigmatized type of music. We've recorded 2 albums, which we're really proud of. Then also, let's see, I teach kids on virtually now because of the pandemic. I teach kids Caribbean cooking, which is something I love. Right now, I'm teaching one of the alternative schools in Chicago. Let me see. I do a mutual aid, which I'm very, very proud of. The mutual aid is called Farm Food Familia, and we feed families affected by COVID. We've fed over 10,000 families already, or we've made over 10,000 meals. Every Wednesday, we make more than 350 meals, and we're pretty much just really feeding a lot of people around the city that have been affected by COVID, people whose family members have passed away, people who can't work. And so that's really something that I love. Is something that's so dear to my heart. And when this started, it actually was so grassroots, and just people really believed in the project. And so we're funded all the way until possibly until the end of the year. So we started in last year of March, and we're still going. Every week, we're still doing it. We teach those families how to cook online now, and we also provide families with food, with groceries every Friday. So like it has a lot of facets, and it's just really beautiful work. That's one thing. I could talk about Farm Food Familia forever. And and I do different events. I'm doing an event at the Puerto Rican Culture Center on Thursday. I'm doing a wedding let's see, I'm looking at my calendar. I have birthday parties, all these things, weddings, and all these beautiful things that I'm being asked to do.
Are you returning to the Ragdale again in Lake Forest?
Let the Ragdale people know that that's something that you want, and I think they'll bring me out. Just let them know.
I really enjoyed that. I really did.
That was an outdoor venue. I think it was about 250
Yes.
people that we fed that day. We played music. There was a DJ. No, it was so beautiful. The weather was so beautiful. What suburb is that in?
Lake Forest. Lake Forest.
Okay, love it. It was so beautiful. Yep, those back in the days, back in the pre-pandemic days.
Yeah.
Roberto, spell the name of your band.
My band is called Booyah. And so, and let's see, when you spell it on, let's see, it's called Bomba con Booyah. This
Thank
is
you.
my band. Yeah, I'm co-director of this group. Really, really proud of all the work that we've done. Right before the pandemic, we were supposed to go to Spain and go to Oklahoma and all these beautiful things. But, you know,
Hey, Chef, you know my good friend
yes.
Pacheco? I think he's in with Bomba Kumbuya, right?
Jonathan Pacheco, of course.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan's dear, very dear to my heart.
Yeah, I saw that boy grow up. He's super talented.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Jonathan, he created the layout for my adobo and my pique and my hot sauce.
He's the man.
Yeah, he's a graphic designer. He's an amazing musician. He comes from a great family. Yeah, there's so many beautiful things about Jonathan.
Yeah, hey, Chef, I'm with the Chicago Quattro Orchestra, and I took guitar classes with Jonathan when he was like 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
And he blew me away and left me in the dust. So
He's talented like that. He's really talented like that. So I want to taste my sauce. See where it's at. I want to taste this sauce. So you know whenever you put like it's actually dangerously hot whenever you put like a metal spoon to your mouth from a pot. So I'm gonna put it in this little. You could always put it in your hand, but I'm gonna put this in a little container here, and then a little cup, and then taste it. I feel like it needs a little bit of salt. I feel like I always say that in all my classes. It needs a little bit of salt, but making adjustments is really important.
Chef, somebody had a question, and I actually had the same. Is it even possible to boil the plantain before frying it, or is it really frying it to soften it?
You could boil it, but if you try then to mold it, it'll fall apart.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you're thinking like how long to fry it ultimately, like
So
10 minutes?
So I'm gonna leave it in here. It looks like it's done. The color has changed. It looks like it's been in here. I don't have it too hot. What happens is that you have all these bubbles, and when the bubbles subside and you hear less boiling, because you have to listen to the food and what it's telling you, and if it stops boiling and gets how would you say, it would silence itself a little bit, and it's not kind of screaming in its boil, then it's done actually. And so that happens whenever you're frying food. And I think I said boil, but I meant fry. Yeah, when the bubbles subside and the noise kind of tones itself down, then that's when you know that it's done. I hope that helps. So I'm going to try my first plantain, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I have my lime squeezer here, right?
Sandra, feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Absolutely, Sandra. También lo puedes decir en español si quieres.
I was gonna ask you, did you add the shrimp water to the sauce?
I did, right, because I
Okay.
wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah. So check it out. So here it is. I'm going to then squeeze it like this, and I'm hoping that it'll squeeze and that because remember, hopefully we've cooked it really well, right? And there it is. So it is cooked, And so I'm forming kind of like this cup. So you see that cup right there. Now I'm gonna take out, and these are all done, it looks like. So I'm gonna start taking them out. And then I'll start putting it back in. So they look like they're done. I'll take a spoon and I'll gently just pry it out like this, and then it's going back in. And then this is my double fry. So you see the cup? So now it's going back in. I hope that helps. Did you guys see what I did?
That was amazing.
So that's what we're gonna put our shrimp in. It's kind of fun. I think you'll impress your guests if you make this when they come over. I think so.
And you can kind of mold it at this time because you have
because
cooked
it's
it enough.
soft. Right, because it's soft. Right, absolutely. So this is my second one. This one just came out really easy. And if you want to make it nice and crunchy towards the end, what you can do is you can actually just turn it up a little bit. Turn up the heat. And so see how this part is coming out? I'm going to just fold it back in there, and now I could just mold it. And it'll pop out like this. And I'll be able to put it in.
You're the man.
Very cool.
Are you guys making this? Are you guys doing it? I don't want you guys just watching me. I want to cook together.
So if my lemon squeezer is not as fancy and pretty as yours, is it still gonna work?
It's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Have fun. Have fun.
I want to see Kira's.
Don't stress out. Have fun.
Okay, everybody. So if you've got your phone and you're cooking, do me a good one and send me a photo, and I will post it online.
Please let everybody know what you're making,
Yeah, it's too cool.
Tag the
Not to
Addison
share.
Public Library.
Yeah. You can shoot me an email, whatever works.
Roberto,
Yes.
I saw something similar like that, pero with maduros, but done in the after you fry them and put them like in your not cake pan, the thing that makes muffin pan.
Oh yeah, the muffin pan.
Yeah.
So like the pionono.
Piononos, I know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I love those. I used to make them all the time.
Okay, so now we're hoping that our sauce is nice and tasty. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our shrimp. And then we'll fold it in there. Make sure that every piece gets some of that sauce. You see? Now's also a good time if you want to add some fresh herb. Now's a good time. Add some of that freshness to it. Again, we do not want to overcook our shrimp. So this is very, very temporary that this is going to be in there, okay? This is not going to be in here very long. Can
you add green onions as a...
Yeah, you could add the herb that you enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. in our recipe, because I know that cilantro is very much found everywhere, I did say that we could just add cilantro and that would be fine. So now is that time where you could add that herb, especially something that's really nice and aromatic and something that you love the way it smells. Now is the perfect time to add something like that. How's everybody doing out there? Do we have people cooking? I'm hoping so.
Yes, my sauce is amazing. Thank you.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, beautiful.
Maria, did your sauce turn dark like Roberto's? Did it change color?
Yes.
Yes, because it's like you can watch it change color.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was really light, you know.
Yeah.
And so you see that. And so I just added some herbs. Just now you see that it really pops because your food should be beautiful.
That looks amazing.
So this is what we're
Teresa
going.
Garcia holding up your pan. Thank you. That looks great.
And so if you notice, what we did today is we're able to do Caribbean cooking, often Puerto Rican cooking, and we could do it naturally, right? And we could make it beautiful because often we get those stereotypes that our food is unhealthy and we don't have to eat like that.
Teresa Garcia's, it looks awesome. I've been critiquing there.
Okay.
Looks
So
really good.
mine is done, and so I'm going to take mine. I'm going to turn off my oven or my induction stove. And then pretty soon we'll be ready to plate.
Roberto, your website is urbanpilon.com or .org?
Correct. .com.
That's right. That's what I typed in.
.com. Again, thank you to the Addison Public Library for inviting me. Thank you, Jody. I have not had my own personal, and Kira would know, Margarita would know. Some of the people here would know that I haven't had my own classes lately. Sometimes I need a little bit of break, but honestly, it feels really good to be back in the kitchen.
So glad you're here. So glad.
I hope you get back again to the live
ones,
class.
right? The live ones.
Yeah.
How did I know you were going to say that? How did I know you were going to say that?
Porque sí. And I told, oh, look at that. Qué bonito.
I did it.
You did it?
Yes. Thank you so much. You always teach me something new.
Oh,
Every
I love
time.
It looks so perfect. So well done.
My cups are going to be a little avant-garde modern art like.
Okay. All right.
Not perfectly formed, kind of asymmetrical.
All right. I bet you it's going to taste beautiful.
Call that wabi-sabi.
Okay, so mine is ready to come out. So be careful because there's a cup filled with oil, so just be careful. You could also put it on maybe like a baking rack and just, you know. Anybody taste their food yet? Margarita, are you gonna make this eventually?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm just gonna kick my husband out of the kitchen, out of the
Kick
house
him
for
out
a
of the
day,
kitchen,
and
out of
just
the
have my
house.
friend, and then just have my friends that can eat shrimp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, chef, we're ready to plate. So
Oh
we'll
yeah?
show, yeah, well, this is what we did with our
Okay,
salad
I'm
here.
gonna start unpinning myself so that I can see everybody's. Go ahead, Teresa, let me see what you got over there. Let me
We got
find you here.
got a fruit cocktail thing going.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
We threw some jicama in there.
Jicama, I love that.
And jicama
Great
and black olives.
choice. Oh,
Grapes, black
wow.
grapes.
So these are my cups here. And when I put it in the cup, what I'll do is I'll put the sauce first and then have the shrimp sit on the top. That way, just looks a little nice and presentable, you know?
I have got to hand it to you all who did the cooking with Roberto, our chef. That is amazing that you guys pulled it off.
Yeah, this is honestly some restaurant quality stuff right here.
Yeah, it's really good.
Look at how it looks really beautiful too. So,
Kira, say
Kira.
something so that we see it.
Yeah, bigger.
Say
Yeah.
something, unmute.
Here is my asymmetrical
Oh,
cups
It's
ooh, that looks
gorgeous.
really
It's
beautiful.
gorgeous,
Kira.
Kira.
and my chow.
How beautiful. So see, your shrimp is really nice and plump now because you didn't overcook it. So it's really nice and still jumbo-y, you know?
mhm.
So again, I put the sauce in there first. And then I'm putting the shrimp on top. That way, just for the aesthetics.
So I put them on little plates. I wanted to. On each side, how much you want.
How's it
I'll make
looking,
the,
Kira?
I'll make the shrimp cup.
What? You said you're not done yet. Well, I'm done cooking. It's time to plate. Cups didn't turn out so great.
Chef, did you season the tostones when you took them out?
I didn't, but
Nope.
that's a good when I did not in this case just because of all the flavors that are going to be added. But whenever you take something out of the fryer, that's the time where you could add the seasoning. So whoever asked that knows fried food.
What type of oil did you use?
You can use the oil that you prefer, but in my case, I just use plain old vegetable oil. That's what I had. Actually, I had grapeseed oil also, so I combined a little bit because I didn't have enough, so I combined them. But everyone, this is what mine look like. I hope you guys can see.
Looks amazing.
Terrific.
And we have the chow, of course, right? We have the chow, which I'm really excited about. I know I am. Which also looks beautiful.
How many shrimps were you able to put on the cups?
My shrimps are big, so I put about 3. But I have also all that sauce in there. And I have shrimp left over. Anybody need any more guidance? Anybody need any help so that they could finish it off? Everybody okay?
Hey, Chef, this is what we came up with.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me find you.
Can you hear me now?
Uh,
Testing. Would
let
you
me
read?
see where you're at.
Testing.
Oh, I love it.
Can
Look
you
at
see
that. I see it.
All right.
It's so beautiful. Wow.
All right.
Great job.
I did some ketchup mayo specialty with a little bit of creme fraiche.
I love it. I love it. Showing out.
Oh man, anybody else want to unmute and show us what you got there? Feel free. Don't be shy. I know you guys are working hard.
Please. I want to see what you guys are making. I know Samantha is cooking. Carla, are you still cooking?
I'm gonna have to make those tostones another time. I did manage not to eat all of the chow, even though I wanted to.
You said you made pineapple chow today?
I did.
Okay, lovely. Oh, it's a beautiful day for that too.
Yeah, it's totally the weather actually.
Yeah.
It's delicious. My mom thinks it's delicious too.
Really? Okay. That's awesome. Makes me really happy.
Oh my gosh.
Here's mine.
Okay.
Let me see. Where are you at?
I gotta clean up the plating a bit, but it's beautiful and tasty.
Did you taste it yet?
Yeah, that sauce is amazing, and the shrimp's
Okay.
amazing too.
Love it. I love it. Okay. You see?
But Chef, in the recipe that we got, there's no instructions to make the sauce other than the chow. And
No, there's not. If you need them, let me know. But that was our way to draw you into this class. So it worked, you see, and here you are in the class.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
But if you need them, we'll do it.
And remember, we're also recording. Yeah, we're recording, and it's going to be on YouTube at Addison Public Library and on Facebook. So you can go back and watch it, and you can zip through the video to the point where you want to be. But also, of course, we're going to help you with whatever you need.
Okay.
Everybody's talking how they can't wait to make it. Yes, Kira, I did email it, and if you want to drop in a private chat your email, I'll quick write it down and make sure that you got it. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Now is the time, folks. Thanks for hanging out for so long. It's been a while, but it's been totally worth it. And yeah, send photos for sure. There is Roberto.
Please send photos.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful. Thank you, Edison Library, for having Chef. He is amazing. We absolutely adore him because he loves his community so much, and his classes are so much fun and always learning something new. So thank you so much, Chef. You're incredible.
I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna head out, and yeah, I look forward to making my own version as well. People are like, this was super cool, and thank you so much. So great.
Oh,
We'll
that's
have
our
you back,
friend
Roberto.
Felicia.
Roberto,
Okay, I'd love to.
write your book. I'm waiting for your book on
Yes.
Amazon.
Yes.
You have to get a
Okay.
book.
Will you buy it?
self-published.
Will you buy it, or
Pues
are you
claro
just
que
giving me a
sí.
hard time?
No, I will buy it. I will buy
Okay.
it. Look,
I'll give you wholesale price.
okay. Que Dios lo
$2.99.
bendiga. Que Dios lo bendiga. Bye.
I want mine autographed.
Okay, for sure. Lo
Bye,
quiero mucho.
Kira.
Thank you so much.
Margarita.
I wish you
Love
all
you,
well.
honey.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us. Thank you, Chef.
You.
Thank
Everybody
you.
have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Have a good
Adios,
night.
Chef.
Thank you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night,
Adios.
everybody.